September 25th, the new Fox Tuesday kicks off with New Girl's new season. Then welcome Ben and Kate.
Stay away from my sister before you find out what 6 years of Krav Maga feels like. Well, like year and a half plus like 4 years on and off I was traveling.
Followed by another all-new New Girl.
What am I looking at here?
Pure, unadulterated friendship.
And the Mindy Project.
Can't believe you're tattling.
Tattling is when a little girl does it, okay? When a hot woman does it, it's called whistleblowing.
The new Fox Tuesday, premieres September 25th on Fox.
You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith. John Cena.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AfterBuzz TV's WWE Monday Night Raw After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's WWE Monday Night Raw After Show.
What's up, guys? This is the Raw AfterBuzz show.
Yes, it is.
I'm Josh Padgett, my tag team partner tonight.
Ryan Clum.
Yeah,
how's it going?
It's going pretty good. We had a very interesting show tonight in Montreal.
Yes, very interesting.
I just wanted to start off by saying that on behalf of all the fans, all of our thoughts and prayers are with Jerry the King Lawler. Jerry collapsed ringside tonight during the Bryan Kane match.
And the Primetime Players, yeah.
Versus the Primetime Players. And, he collapsed, got stretchered out. As of right now, he's stabilized. He's in the hospital, and they're giving him some CT scans.
Yeah, so it's hopeful. So it sounds good.
He's breathing
right
on his own. He's fighting through it. King, we're with you, man.
King's a fighter, so I got to believe he'll come through this.
That's right.
You know,
and that's from Memphis.
Hopefully. Yeah, the King of Memphis.
That's right. So anyway, yeah, we're in Montreal, and we, obviously this is going to be a very Bret Hart friendly territory.
Right, home of the Montreal Screwjob.
Yeah,
so
right.
one of the most controversial moments in the history of the business took place in that building. And was that the first time Bret's been back there since?
That's what he said.
He did say that, right?
I could have sworn he came back at some point in Montreal, but no.
I don't think
he's been in
ever.
Canada.
Yeah, I don't think he's been in that building since. I could be wrong.
That's what he said. He's like, it's been 15 years since I've been here, and last time I was here was a very dark time for me.
It was a very bitter moment for him. Yeah,
that's right.
If you guys out there haven't ever seen Bret Hart Wrestling with Shadows, is a great documentary that chronicles that entire kind of thing. They caught that all on film, which is a pretty amazing documentary. I think it's on Netflix. So if you have a Netflix account, go watch that.
Tons of good stuff on Netflix.
Incredible amounts of stuff.
That's right. Yeah. So what an opportunity. Let's send Bret Hart out there, open up the show.
Yeah.
Great standing ovation. And as he's addressing the crowd, talking about how it's been 15 long years. Somebody doesn't like that.
CM Punk comes out, which got quite a bit of boos from the crowd, which was great. The dichotomy, because last week, they couldn't get him to not cheer CM Punk because they were in his hometown.
Chicago.
I mean, Chicago's going to cheer for him all the time.
Right, and the formula has worked. He is officially a heel now.
He's officially a heel, yeah. But I like him as a heel, and the important thing about a heel, just like I would say the important thing about any character in a television show or a movie, is they have to believe in what they're doing. They have to believe they're right even if they're wrong. And CM Punk, you can kind of see where he's coming from and all this stuff. He has a point.
Right.
Everything he says, he always has a point.
And I think this is, you're a wrestler now, and I'm just a fan, and I'm watching this, and I agree with you that he was getting stale. As I thought, CM Punk doesn't work very well as a vanilla champ.
Right, and I don't think it was just the fact he was getting stale. I think it's the fact that, you had the champion as the number 2 babyface. So you had Cena.
It's a problem.
Number one, heel spot's open, so Cena or CM Punk can kind of go into that spot now. So I think there's probably a lot of that has to do with that.
Yeah,
we've seen him not main eventing. We were talking about that. He hasn't main evented a show since or a pay-per-view since December.
I know.
And he's a champion. It's ridiculous.
It's terrible. And he's every Raw, he's like mid-card match. Every Raw, boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
And and in that time, these past several months, him and Daniel Bryan have been just doing
on
these
fire,
like amazing matches together. And yet they're stuck in the mid card.
Yeah.
And they let Cena come out and do his
or
thing.
Or Brock Lesnar and Triple H,
Yeah.
I mean, we had that, and even at SummerSlam, you had Cena and Punk and Big Show, were second fiddle to Brock Lesnar and Triple H. Two guys who, when was the last time Triple H had a match before that? WrestleMania, I think. And so, it's, to me, that's like you're sticking guys out there who don't regularly work matches over three guys who work every night who are going to put on probably, aren't as rusty.
And
it doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
They've been doing a lot of things. They're trying to stir the pot and really force the fans, I feel like, ever since Punk did this amazing thing at Money in the Bank, that when he did his big shoot and won the title, there was momentum rolling this way. And then they were like, oh, we're going to make, when the Triple H thing started getting, when he was the COO, and they were doing their thing where he's grabbing, Triple H's tie and doing the whole corporate thing.
Some of that was good, but it was also rushed because, they weren't able to, the minute he left, they brought him back in, a week later after he supposedly quit the company. I mean, even all that stuff, it wasn't built the way it could be because they had to put a main event for that SummerSlam, so they had to quickly bring him back and stick him back together with Cena.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And Triple H has been saying recently, like, the rumors online are saying like that Triple H he thinks he could work well as him as a heel. And Vince McMahon's like, no, the people love you, and you need to stay this. And
are you talking about with Cena?
With Triple H.
Okay.
And
gotcha.
Triple H wants to be a heel, and
He's
even last year they were like, oh, the fans were love Triple H, and it's like, sorry, they can't, so they couldn't do that. Brock Lesnar comes in, you sidetrack that, and then Punk's like left out, and they're like, well, who am I supposed to? And Kevin Nash gets thrown in there, and it's like, what's going on? So we've had this happening for like months now, and now it's like finally he's addressing the fact that I'm a mid-card wrestler, a mid-card champ.
And Cole has been at ringside. The commentary, they've been talking about that as well. So they've definitely made that a storyline and issue.
So glad.
Which is more, definitely, because I think all of us wrestling fans have been thinking that, like, why is the champion never, it always makes me think back to an interview that Triple H did on. They were talking about the Hulk Hogan Rock WrestleMania match, which was, this big match, system match everyone wanted. And the main event of that card was Triple H versus Chris Jericho. And the two of them said, let Hogan and Rock go on afterwards. We don't want to follow that. And they said, you have to go on. It's the title. Title has to go on last. Yeah. That was, a few years. They've obviously changed that. The thought on that, but I don't like the fact that they have. The title should go on last.
But the thing is, we're not having,
or at least regularly.
Rock
once
Cena,
in a while,
that was
maybe.
Appropriate. I'll give them that.
Once in a while, maybe.
But not every Raw.
No, or every pay-per-view, every single pay-per-view since December.
Since December or something, right? It's been terrible.
Even at WrestleMania, Rock Cena. So.
Only time CM Punk gets a main event status is if he's fighting Cena. And now
and he didn't even get that at SummerSlam.
No.
Yeah.
And Paul Heyman now just this week tweeted, isn't it funny? Who's on the cover of Night of Champions? Not the champion.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's
travesty.
It doesn't make sense.
So Punk comes out there. He's wearing Bret Hart's colors, and he tweeted Bret Hart at SummerSlam, "Check it out, man! Tribute to you, much respect."
I didn't realize that.
Like a few weeks later, he's coming out wearing them, but now he's talking crap to Bret Hart. And this is what I get upset with the whole pushing this heel thing. Like, let him just be Punk and be mad about disrespect, hate on Cena, but and then they're like, "Oh, we can't have the fans hating on Cena. He's our face."
Right.
And it's just like. There's this
big
turmoil
half the
going
fans
on.
hate on Cena.
I know. And now tonight, it seemed like not a lot of people were after Punk. And I'm like, dang, or he needs my help. I'm going to go buy a T-shirt now. I don't want people up against him so bad.
Yeah.
So they, talked.
So he
trash
came
to him?
out and said, yeah, he's going to beat down. He said he came out and said he would have actually beat Brett in '97, and if he had been there instead of Shawn Michaels, he would have beaten Bret Hart and then taken the belt, and he would have gone to WCW, and WWE would no longer be in existence. So
right.
if he was there in '97, we would not have a WWE right now, which which was entertaining.
Very entertaining.
Yeah, and he's gonna He's gonna leave Cena a broken man. That's what he said as well.
As he will.
Yeah, hopefully.
I believe.
I think he will. You know,
That's right.
I'm hoping. I'd like to see a year-long run with Punk. It makes sense to me that he'd hold the title until at least Royal Rumble with The Rock.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make sense to me that he'd even lose that. If I really hope Rock doesn't come in and win the championship on that one night, and then we have a champion that comes in.
Not good business.
Never. No,
Rock,
it'd be
Rock
terrible. It'd be terrible.
They're not gonna
He has to come back regularly to
Right.
have a belt run, in my opinion. But
Right. So we have our first match.
we did have our
pop
first
up.
match: Kofi and R-Truth versus Antonio Cesaro and The Miz. Which Cesaro is one of my new favorite guys on there. He's got a huge upside. Seasoned guy, been around the world, been
Another
trained,
one of those like let's get the youth in here. Some good blood. This guy's solid.
And hopefully will make the United States Championship mean something again, because I think it had lost a little something with Santino. Not that I have a problem with Santino, but when you defend the belt 3 times in the 5 or 6 months that he had it, you know, it can't be taken seriously.
Right. When do you think the last time the U.S. championship was special?
It was okay during recently when Ziggler had it. Ziggler, I think, had a pretty good run with it. And then they put it on. They did that build up and they put it on Ryder. And then they did that weird. They immediately took it off and put it on Swagger. Remember? And it just didn't make a lot of sense. They like built that Ziggler Ryder thing up, put the belt on Ryder, and then they kind of killed it quickly. And the belt really hasn't meant anything since then.
Exactly. So this is good.
Yeah,
he'll
it's
hold
very
on
good.
to it for a while.
I hope so.
And he came, and he's. I was very impressed. He came out tonight and said, he described himself in 5 different languages.
Yeah, what was the word he was describing again?
Well, impressive, I think, was
Impressive.
the English version.
Yeah.
I don't, I'm not bilingual or anything.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly. I didn't write it down what it was, but I like that little gimmick of him saying 5 different things. It's interesting. It kind of makes me think of it's kind of a throwback to the 80s a little bit, that kind of stuff. And you know, they've been using a little bit more. They didn't use tonight, which they seem to start to do this and then they don't, and I wish they would do it consistently, is the promo in a box. You know, during the match, the little...
do you remember a few weeks ago, Ryback?
They started to do that,
Ryback
yes.
down there, and I was like...
And they did it with somebody else a couple of weeks. It's like they start to bring that back, and then it goes away. It's like they only use it once in a while. Use it more often. Use it every show. I love the promo in a box.
Especially for specific guys. Like Ryback, that's perfect.
Absolutely.
I mean, I was standing up in the screening room, I was like, yeah! Maria was like, what are you doing? I'm like, this is awesome! You know, everyone's like, oh, no.
But it gives the guys a chance to get their character out there a little bit, and gives a chance for you to get to know who they are a little bit. So
right.
They need to do more with that.
Definitely. Had a pretty solid match here. It's kind of strange because Antonio and Miz, you know, we're talking about the U.S. and IC
champs against the tag champs,
and they lost clean to tag champs.
Yeah. But I guess it should. I mean, the tag champ should win a tag match against 2 individual guys who are not a team.
That could be argued.
It should be. Yeah, those are the guys who should win that match clean.
Right. But either one of those guys, R-Truth against Miz one-on-one, that's a different story.
Different story. These guys are the tag champs, so, you know, and the other 2 don't work together as a team normally.
And they've been a team for a while now.
A little bit,
a little while.
But they're still kind of a thrown-together team, in my opinion.
Most definitely.
You know, hopefully they're that team that'll have the belts for a minute because they're 2 recognizable guys that we can build the tag division with these guys and then put the belt on somebody else and hopefully split them back up. Because I would think Kofi would be a guy who's in the line to be elevated here soon. You know, he's a popular babyface, and they need to freshen it up at top a little bit.
You
know, some sort of title run individually, I think would be great for Kofi.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I think so too. And you know, he was the one who got the win. A little Trouble in Paradise.
Oh yeah. Trouble in Paradise.
Yeah. And speaking of, you know, these throwbacks to the 80s, we had We had something that's not really a throwback at all.
It wasn't. It was a new thing. It was awful. I'm sorry, but I thought it was terrible. This movie almost they put together of Sheamus and the lawsuit with Del Rio with
what's Del Rio?
Atunga and Ricardo Rodriguez
and
and his lawyer, and it didn't feel like a wrestling segment. You know, it didn't feel like, okay, here, because in wrestling it's more reality based, right? It's this is happening, just we're going to be a fly on the wall and we're going to capture it. And that's what works in wrestling. Some vignette stuff you can edit and do whatever, but in a moment like that, it's fly on the wall. This was a full-on production, which I've been in television and film production for 10 years. That took them all day to shoot that. That was not a simple thing.
Like the outside,
it was a single camera shot. They would move the camera around. You know, so there were camera moves. There were rack focuses going on where they would focus on the foreground, then focus on the background. That's creative stuff. It's not the stuff you use in wrestling. It doesn't make sense. No. It's very obvious it's scripted then, and it's not something that's actually happening. So,
especially with somebody like Sheamus, who always seems like just doing.
And these guys aren't really actors. I mean, to put them in that situation and
have such a huge
close up
on Atunga.
Exactly, it's
law
not
offices of. I mean, I was like watching a commercial or something, or like it was a cinematic short.
It was, and it wasn't exactly great. You know,
acted out by
and
by
I can just imagine this guy who's probably shooting that who just graduated film schools a couple years ago. Like, I'm going to show them this amazing thing I'm going to do with this little beret. And,
let my nephew shoot it. Let my nephew shoot it. He just got out of USC. Give him a break.
Man, it didn't work. It didn't work. Right. They need to scrap that. It made me think of a few years back. Mick Foley talks about this in his book, and I can't remember what it was for. I think it was this when they did the Super Bowl halftime match, and The Rock dropped a pallet or something on Mick Foley with they drop it, and they all of a sudden cut to a POV from Mick Foley of the thing coming down, and it makes no sense. You know, you can't cut to a POV shot in wrestling,
right?
And that's what I thought of when I saw this thing tonight. That it's just very blatant that this is a written script and it's a movie that they shot. It doesn't, it doesn't work for wrestling.
And they're in a weird spot now, like where they're like, "Oh, this is a sport. We're treating it like a sport.
Right.
Oh, this is entertainment. We're treating it like
and
no,
I don't
this
know.
is all real."
You said you don't really watch TNA at all, right?
I was.
Okay, they do. Since Hogan came in, they've been doing these reality segments kind of now. Behind the door, and it almost felt to me like they were trying to like do something different, like their version of that.
And I liked it. I liked what TNA was doing.
I do like some of it. So they do it. It's become a little much the way they do it now. But the idea around it, I like the kind of creep in the door and the. This is reality that we're capturing.
Right.
And it almost felt they were trying to do that, but it was a misfire, in my opinion. A big misfire. And they need to never do it again.
Yeah, because like the past 2 weeks, we've had Daniel Bryan and Kane's segments done so well. Yeah. And then this one, they're like, let's amp it up.
Mm-hmm.
You know? No.
Yeah, and the money that it probably cost to shoot that with all the crew and the time, and that's a long day to shoot that.
Yeah.
I don't think it, was worth it.
Supposed to be entertaining. I didn't think it was entertaining.
Wasn't entertaining at all.
But speaking of real entertainment here, Diva Time.
Oh yeah,
had a 3-minute Diva match tonight.
Mm-hmm. Was it 3 minutes?
I timed it.
It was just over. Because we were asking what was the under. Now was it bell to bell 3 minutes or was it entrance?
I do bell to bell.
Okay,
I don't count entrance. I'm like, let's see the girls work.
All right.
And the girl, it was Layla, Eve, and Caitlyn versus Beth Phoenix, Alicia Fox, and Natalya.
Yeah, which was a little bit. When did Alicia Fox become a heel? She was a heel, then she became a face without any sort of turn, and now she's with the bad girls again.
She's with the bad girls.
Yeah.
She does what she wants.
They seem to do that with the Divas a bit. They just pop them face and heel without any real turn or really. So Natalia's bad now.
Zero respect for the Divas. They don't have any time to
and it's unfortunate.
Gather any steam, you know.
It's unfortunate because they have a few girls that are actually like Natalya and Beth Phoenix can work. I mean, they are great. And I really hope they bring that division back. It's become a bunch of models.
They're bringing Sarah Del Rey in. So
and I mean that's the rumor. I don't think that has that ever been officially announced yet. I don't know. I mean, I think it's happening. I mean, I think it's gonna happen. I don't think they've ever officially announced that. I know she's not there yet.
Right. Well, I hope she comes.
I hope so, because have you seen her matches before?
Beast.
Yeah, she's amazing. She's one of the best female workers I've ever seen.
Yeah,
she's amazing.
She can get it in. And Eve got it in tonight. She tagged herself in, and
she's kind of weird that she's the heel with the baby face girls,
right?
As well, trying to be
she's
good.
like, look, I'm good. See, and
we'll see where that's going.
Old Layla's ego was bruised tonight. She did not like that.
Yeah, which to me was a little bit interesting for a face kind of champion. There was a big ego there. And she tagged in, she got it.
And she's wrestling Caitlyn at Night of Champions, I thought, and it was interesting that. All the attention was set on Eve and Layla, so maybe Eve will get involved this next pay-per-view. And that was done. You want to tell them something about this
iTunes? Yeah. So I'm sure all you people out there know what iTunes is. We are actually on iTunes, which is a great place to listen to our podcasts here. I actually love to download them onto my iPhone and listen to them on my way to the gym or at the gym, which is a great way. You can just go to the iTunes store right on your phone, and you can also download. There's a podcasting app that you can get now that helps organize it. But if you could go to iTunes also and rate and comment, that would be great. A way to say thank you for us for doing these for free.
I know. It's awesome. Thank you, guys.
Spending, we put it's not just the hour we're on camera here. It's all that driving through LA traffic to get here and sitting and watching the show for 3 hours. So we spend a lot of time here.
If you're sitting at your desk for like 8 hours, you can listen to several podcasts.
Oh, yeah.
It's good, Works out well. So anyway, we had some more talking backstage. Punk comes up to AJ and he's like, Cena didn't have a match tonight. That's BS. It's not fair that I have to fight.
But maybe that was a little payback from last week when he walked out on and Cena
shouldn't have walked out last time.
Yeah.
So the Twitterverse votes, and Orton is his opponent.
And who is it? It was either Orton. Who were the three?
Brodus Clay and
Jerry Lawler. Which. Thank goodness it wasn't Jerry Lawler.
Jerry got up in there anyway, right?
Yeah, later on. I mean, it became a big part of the show.
They had a pretty solid match. I would have liked
actually a very solid match.
Right?
I actually really enjoyed that match a lot. And this is one of my big pet peeves: a great match ruined by a run-in, and it didn't even feel. It was just a run-in, there wasn't anything special to it at all.
Right.
Either.
I didn't know what they were. It was like a Punk Orton.
It was a cheap way out, is what it felt like to me.
To push Ziggler and Orton.
Yeah.
And not really do anything for the champion.
It was a cheap way out to not have anybody get beat.
Yeah.
And it just, I didn't like the run in there. The match was great, and then it was gone, and I hate that.
And what I hate, I don't like it, and I know you can probably chime in more on the psychology behind this, but I hate it when like someone turns heel, they all of a sudden aren't very good at wrestling that much anymore. Like I'm fine with you cheating and trying to take the easy way out and stuff.
Right,
that's a heel.
right.
But like all of a sudden, Punk's like, I noticed like most of that match, Orton was just laying it into him. I'm like, oh, Punk, what happened?
Right.
And I know he's a bad guy.
Yeah, he's a bad guy.
Pathetic.
And, if the bad guy's moves are too cool, then you start to cheer for the bad guy. And,
it's like there's no way he's going to beat Cena now.
You shouldn't be cheering for the bad. If you're a bad guy, if you're a heel and you're getting cheered for, you're not doing your job.
Right.
And so it's if you're doing really cool moves and you're a heel,
but you have
and
Punk.
people are like, oh, that's awesome, let's cheer for him, and so you're not doing your job anymore.
Dang it. Well, I hope the pay-per-view match with him and Cena is going to be decent if he can't do any half of his moveset.
No, it's just it's a different way you do it. So.
Okay, well, he's definitely done his job because he was getting booed out the building. And old Ziggs comes in, interferes, and then Jerry's like, screw this, I'm getting up there, I'm going to help out Orton. And next thing you know, we go to commercial, come back. AJ has set up an impromptu tag
team match, which was, I forgot about that Lawler was involved in an actual match before his.
I guess that's what caused it.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't even think about that, but that's right. He was involved in a match tonight.
Yeah, and he did a drop kick. I mean, it was awesome. He did 2 back-to-back fist drops from the second rope. I mean, he was moving around a lot.
And you know, obviously with what happened, that may be the last match we ever see Jerry Lawler in.
Probably.
Very, very possibly. If that's
he looked great. He looked great tonight. So
he had a match against Cena a couple weeks ago, or against Punk.
Punk in the
Punk,
cage.
and I mean, how old's Jerry? He's got to be in his 60s, right?
I'd have to look it up.
Yeah, I'd have to look it up, but
he's definitely in his 60s.
And it was amazing that he can still do that at that age. He was great.
Man, yeah.
So
great athleticism.
I really hope he's okay, and hopefully we'll get to see him still wrestle, because I'm sure it would be devastating for him not to get to do it anymore.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
There's a reason guys keep wrestling well into their
I know
old age, because it's addicting.
I bet.
Yeah.
So Heyman comes down and basically pulls Punk aside. It's like, what are you doing?
Which was kind of interesting, and
it was a little weird.
It was a little bit weird. At first I thought he was going to come and have a point, but then they started talking about where they were going to eat.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, well, I guess they're just kind of...
They drew it out, and they just kept the camera on them with the actual wrestling.
I thought
in the
there was going to
background.
be something that Heyman was going to come down and have like a reason, like, why are you in a tag match? Didn't you just wrestle before?
Like,
get out of here. Like,
Come
this
on.
is stupid that
Give me
you're
the title.
wrestling again.
Let's go.
Right. Like, that would have made more sense to me. Like, dude,
There'd
I'm
be a little more-
your representation or whatever here. I'm your consultant. Get out of this match. Like, why are you in another match?
Just trying to be more like
you've got a title
pricks.
match, and Cena doesn't have, but you have to wrestle 2 now. That would have made more sense.
You already
than,
had your match. It was disqualified.
Right.
Let's get you out of here.
Would have made more sense to me than, hey, let's go. Where are we going to
What's
go
in
eat for
Montreal?
dinner? Is there any good
Nothing.
places? That was a little bit weird.
Yeah,
But I did like Heyman coming down, and it got us to see Heyman.
Yeah.
And it reaffirmed that Heyman and Punk are indeed together.
Because after Ziggler lost, because Punk was offside, after the commercial break, they're asking him, hey, Stryker's asking him, like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And, what's the deal with your relationship now? Last week we saw you in the car. What's going on? And he just looks at him. I'm a Heyman guy.
I'm a Paul Heyman guy.
Yeah.
Which was a little bit of a throwback to, if people remember, his big shoot interview. His big shoot interview was he said, "That's right, I'm a Paul Heyman guy." And who else is Paul Heyman guy? Brock Lesnar. So they went into that whole thing. So it's a little coming around full circle.
Be kind of cool to have a little faction, Heyman faction.
I would love that.
Right? Mm-hmm. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I've been saying for years I miss having at least get one guy in there, a manager like a Bobby Heenan that manages a bunch of people that aren't connected, that aren't a tag team, that aren't always coming together. If you remember the Heenan family, you'd have like Hercules and Haku and Andre the Giant, and like you'd have these guys, and he'd come out for their individual matches. He wouldn't just show up with the whole family sitting there and they're interacting. I mean, they would hire him individually. Hercules didn't have deal with with Mr. Perfect. They never crossed, even though they were being represented by the same guy.
Except maybe at a Survivor Series.
Exactly, a Survivor Series, or once in a while there might be some sort of thing where some members would have to get together, but it wasn't storyline wise that these guys were always connected.
Right.
So I want to see that again. I want to see that manager that comes out, and I thought maybe AEW was going to be that, but.
You gotta keep your mouth shut, I guess.
Yes.
Don't say bad things.
Or your fingers shut on Twitter.
Yeah, right.
That's the more of the problem, I think, these days. But there's one other point I was going to make here about that. Oh, I know what I was going to ask you. What did you think about Vicky screaming at them as they were sitting there and talking?
I thought like Punk or Heyman was going to be like, get out of my face, and like push her, but then it's like, oh, that's a huge pop, but that's a problem because everyone hates Vicky. People still like, I'm booing CM Punk. He's saying a lot of mean things.
I thought it was a little bit weird with the heel thing, kind of her screaming at them.
Yeah, it was like, all right, well, was she like, hey, you gonna hit me? Have we discussed this?
Yeah.
Like, and I really wanted, of course, I wanted Punk to like push her away, but
yeah, I would have almost rather not her gotten involved there. It just felt a little bit strange to me, like her and then them ignoring her.
Right.
Yeah.
They're standing there, excuse us, and then kind of push their shoulder. Yeah.
without, Ziggler get involved or some other thing. Just her being there and yelling felt a little bit off.
Right.
Yeah.
But what is she supposed to do? But
Exactly.
They should have done something.
Exactly.
Just go back to your corner, cheer on your buddy, on your man. And a man I want to cheer on every week, my man Ryback.
You love this guy.
I think he's great.
He is great.
I love him. He won me over when he had the pink eye and he was crying after his win, and I was like, and he's just like, I need more, and he's like crying. I'm like, oh my god. Shakespeare. I love it. This is beautiful. Bravo. And tonight, it was pretty funny because, exactly, yes. Heath Slater came out and was like, I want a rematch against you, Ryder. And Ryder's like, sorry, bro. You're not going to go against Ryder. You're going to go against this guy. And he's like, feed me. I was like, yes.
Right.
Do it.
So you're not getting bored with Ryback yet?
Keep it coming.
Okay.
Keep it coming. I can't wait for him to, just let him keep getting better and better.
Right.
It's a good. I mean, the fans love it. I would love it if I was there live.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean,
definitely. Yeah.
You
the
could
fans
get involved with the chants and stuff, and you know what's going to happen. Can't wait to see it.
Yeah. I do the SmackDown AfterBuzz, and that's where Ryback does most of his wrestling is on SmackDown. So, we talk about that all the time. Is it too much of the same? Is it getting stale yet? But you, as a fan of his, I guess not for you yet.
Just got to keep the opponents getting stronger and stronger.
Yeah.
Show that he's getting a little bit more challenged every time. And we'll keep it going.
And Slater got a little offense in there.
Yeah.
For this match, so it wasn't a complete squash, but
it's a squash match that still builds up like Slater a little bit. It's like, wow, man, you held your own for a second there.
Right.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
that's better than losing to Sergeant Slaughter or somebody,
True. Yeah. And Slater's. If I was Slater, I'd lose to Sergeant Slaughter all day long.
Give me
I
that
wouldn't
curved
care.
chicken wing, yeah.
Vader and he
not
got
Doink
to wrestle
though.
with everybody.
Not losing to Doink.
No, definitely. You know who usually? Do you know who plays Doink? Or at least usually now these days when he plays him. That's Steve Lombardi who does that, the Brooklyn Brawler.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he's done Doink a lot, and whenever you see Doink pop up now, it's always Steve Lombardi.
I did not know that. Well, it's good Lombardi's getting some
he's
some time in the makeup.
Yeah, he's a big backstage guy, so he's been there forever.
That's cool.
He's
That's
a
cool.
long
Well, he's done a good job as Doink
guy.
recently then, because he's been very funny. And I love funny. And some comedy coming up here. I tried a little segue here.
I like it.
Fox, we got a new little partnership with Fox, and we're very excited about this because they have some great funny shows coming up in September. September 25th, starting at 8 p.m. We have a great Tuesday lineup with the New Girl, Ben and Kate, and Mindy, the Mindy Project. And I've seen New Girl, and I don't really find women that funny sometimes. It's hard. I'm trying not to sound sexist.
I can just see what the comments are going to say now.
I love women. I love my mom. But it's like it's sometimes there's female comedians. Bridesmaids was awesome.
And there's
I was
some that
like,
are amazing.
bravo, you girls rock. That was actually funny. And they just need time. They need moments to spread their wings and show how funny they can be. New Girl definitely got it. And I'm excited about Mindy Project because I think that girl Mindy is awesome. So September 25th, 8 p.m., Fox. Holla.
You know what else is September 25th? My birthday.
All right.
So, yeah, there we go. Yay.
So anyway, prime time. It's prime time now.
The primetime players. Millions of dollars.
They get set up in a match against Daniel Bryan and Kane.
Right, which I guess before we had the doctor come in before this, right?
Was asked to
Dr.
come in
Shelby.
by AJ. Yes.
Was asked to come in by AJ, and because there was a breakthrough. They almost had a breakthrough last week.
Right.
And she asked Dr. Shelby to come in. So, they had the big plan to get them together, which is them teaming against the primetime players for the #1 contendership.
Right.
Which, did you get that? Why? Because the primetime players had gotten the #1 contendership on SmackDown, which I didn't actually watch all of SmackDown this weekend, this last week, so I don't know exactly what happened, but I thought they had the #1 contendership, and she said something there about, no, you don't really have it. Was there a reason for that?
I don't think so.
Was there a controversy off that match? I'm not sure.
No, I don't know.
Okay.
I'd have to look it up. I haven't watched SmackDown yet.
Yeah. It was just like, oh, okay, well, guess what? You're not really #1 contenders, and you have to wrestle these guys now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
or maybe you are, and you get to
because
warm up.
that's what she said though. Is like, oh no, you're gonna have this one match, so you're not really the number one contenders. But I didn't catch what she said. If there was an actual reason for it or not, or she was just being AJ.
So now, what ends up happening? Kane and Bryan end up win.
Yeah.
Kane,
and they're the number one contenders for the titles.
Right. So maybe that's why they wanted to get those two in on the.
Or maybe there's a change in creative maybe this morning. You know, let's put these guys in the match.
The hug segment last week was like the most watched portion of Raw. You know?
Right.
So they're like, let's keep these guys.
Right.
Together.
And at Night of Champions, maybe they're like, okay, well, let's get the primetime players out. We need Kane and Bryan. This is so popular. We need a match for them. So let's stick them in the tag match. So.
Right. And, they both held well. I mean, primetime players doing a lot more tag team type wrestling. Kane ends up getting tagged in, tears it up a little bit, and then Bryan slaps him in. He's like, I'm coming in. He's just grinning at Kane like, yeah, I got this. And Kane don't like that.
No.
He didn't like being slapped like that.
Kane
so he choke slams
slapped.
Bryan's ass right on top of which one was it? It was
was it Young?
Yeah, it was Darren Young.
It was Darren Young, right?
And squashed on Darren Young. 1, 2, 3 pin. Kane goes, hey, holds up Daniel Bryan's hand. Hey, congratulations, we won.
Right.
And Bryan's like, huh? Daniel Bryan's so funny. I love that man.
I love this pairing of them too.
Right.
I complain that I don't like tag teams thrown together, but this one I enjoy. I enjoy them. Hopefully, it won't be a super long run with the two of them. I don't think it makes sense to put the titles on them. But I like them tagged up here. It's like the odd couple of wrestling to me a little bit.
It's some Jerry Lewis stuff. It's perfect.
And the stuff was very funny. Like Kane has been very funny, I think, in these anger management segments.
Yeah.
My favorite one being when they actually told the whole story of Kane, over and over, and they mentioned Katie Vick and stuff that I never thought they would mention.
Shocked Shane McMahon's balls with a battery.
Right. He was like, I locked my father in a meat locker. It's
I buried my brother alive twice.
Exactly. It was very, very funny. So I love all that stuff.
Yeah, the outlandish Attitude Era stuff is perfect.
Yeah.
But during this match was where, if for anyone who didn't get to watch it, that was when Jerry collapsed.
Yes,
because
you caught on to that. I didn't actually catch that. You were like, did Lawler was collapse? And I was like, I don't know. And the magic of iPhones, I was able to find out very quickly what was going on.
Right, very scary because Michael Cole stopped talking.
Yeah,
everyone was looking off to the right, and then people started cheering.
And he was still doing commentary through that match, right? But all of a sudden, King's not there,
right?
And you mentioned, I was like, yeah, you're right. King's not talking. It's
right.
And
then after the match, they showed, and he wasn't there, and Michael Cole, addressed what had happened. And he ended up calling the next match. Between Del Rio and Tyson Kidd.
Right, and they didn't announce it at that point. It was after that match when they finally announced it, and they said there will be no more commentary.
Right, so this match is going on, and he was commentating it for a second, and then he stopped. The whole rest of the match was silent. And Del Rio did an awesome great arm snap through the bottom rope on Tyson Kidd. Tyson Kidd got a sharpshooter on Del Rio for the fans in Montreal.
Right.
That was great, and then the arm snap, and then he got the arm bar on him and pretty much squashed Tyson Kidd.
It was a squash. It was a glorified squash. Yeah, there was no offense almost by Tyson throughout the whole thing, other than that sharpshooter. Which, to me, it's a shame that he was the guy that got stuck in. I mean, they wanted to build Del Rio up for his match. I understand that, and make him look like a brutal heel. But it feels like they start to tease Tyson Kidd, Money in the Bank. He beat Tensai. He got I forget who else he got a win over. Someone else, was it Drew McIntyre or somebody he went over? I forget, that you would have thought he wouldn't have, and it felt like they were building him up, and now they have him getting squashed again.
He's so good.
Incredible, yeah. And whenever you hear a guy, like in an interview, they're like, who's the guy backstage that, if he's given a chance will be a star, everyone always goes, Tyson Kidd. This is the guy that if they just give him a chance, could be major, yeah. And, maybe someday. But
throw him and Evan Bourne in a match against each other.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be beast?
Yeah, they have him tagging right now though with Justin Gabriel, which is like, I don't think they're a great. I like Tyson Kidd. I'm not a huge Justin Gabriel fan.
Right.
And they had a tag match a couple weeks ago where Gabriel had no fire, so I was just like, kid deserves a singles run, I think.
Yeah, give it to him.
Yeah, absolutely. Trained by Stu Hart, so.
And speaking of great singles matches, the next match was Sheamus versus David Otunga.
Another squash, which once again, having and I guess those are the two squashes where the two guys who did the squashing were the guys who will be wrestling against each other. So I guess it makes sense if you stick Del Rio to make him strong, then do the same thing for Sheamus. So
right.
They look like they're gonna when they butt heads here.
In a very interesting way to watch these last two matches because there was absolutely no
commentary.
Zero commentary. It's just you hear the fans, you hear the guys hitting each other. Sheamus hits the Texas Cloverleaf on him, makes Otunga tap out, and as he's leaving, he stops, turns around, comes back in.
Hits the bro kick.
AJ comes out. Listen, I told you, unfortunately I have to. Booker T comes out, bug-eyed. He's like, look, I'm sorry, AJ, but this is World Heavyweight Championship we're talking about here. And he strips Sheamus of the title.
Or no, he says if he uses the bro kick again before,
I thought he took it from him.
No, he didn't. He has a investigation going on. So he said, basically, I've got this investigation going on, and you are not supposed to be using this. So if you use it again before my investigation's over, I will strip you of the title.
Dang. Oh, I feel like an idiot.
Yeah,
I was looking at Jerry.
Yeah,
Lawler's
I know.
News. I'm like,
it's an excuse. That's a good excuse.
I'll use
for
that
today,
one. I'll use that one. But yeah, okay. Well, so
yeah, he is not stripped. It's threatened to be stripped, so he will not at all be able to use that. So they'll be able to play up that on SmackDown. Will he do it? Will he not? He'll be stripped of it. And they'll put him in situations, I'm sure, where he wants to do it and can't. So
then they should have made Sheamus start to be psychotic or something, where he just wants to hurt people, like Randy Orton or something back in the day. Don't make him just be like, oh, I'm just being a kid and I'm just, I'm gonna do what I want. It's not like he's not acting like this Guy Ritchie henchman, like bad guy like he used to, and I would love to see him do that again.
Right.
Stop.
I didn't like him as a heel.
Oh.
I liked him much more as a babyface. Okay. I think he's much better personally.
Well, then you must be very happy with this because he's a.
Yeah, I mean it's good. It's okay. But I like him a lot. I think he's got
awesome.
a ton of potential. I think I've said this many times on SmackDown. I think in 5 years he may be the biggest star in the world. I think there's a chance.
Wow. Yeah.
I think it takes a while, but I think he can just make pop, and he may be that big guy. He may be the next Cena, or I think he's got that potential.
Yeah. Yeah. He's there. He's doing all the work Cena's doing too right now. I mean, he's going.
He's a workhorse. He's good. I mean, and it's in WWE. It's really about connecting with the audience and the character more than your move set and being able to be this amazing Ring of Honor style wrestler. It's
right.
not important in WWE. It's connecting with those kids and selling T-shirts.
Be entertaining. Yeah.
And I think he has a huge upside on that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, make that company a lot of money.
I want to see him do the Razor Edge more. He was doing that.
Yeah, what were the Celtic Cross? Were they calling that? Because that was more of his finisher before, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he did the Brogue Kick, but I believe he used that as his finisher. And yeah, he doesn't do that.
See, that's a good repertoire he's got there. He's got a Razor's Edge, a Texas Cloverleaf, yeah.
I mean, the Razor's Edge is so synonymous with Razor Ramon that, it's like, oh, that's Razor Ramon's move. So maybe they wanted to, not that the bro kick isn't, like Test used that, and guys have used that, but it's a little bit, he puts his own flavor on it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good.
But yeah.
He's got plenty going on for him.
Very much so.
So we end up backstage with Daniel Bryan and Kane again, and it looks like they make up and everything. Like you have the doctor there, and he tells him, "Look, let's think about this positively." And he's like, Daniel Bryan's like, "Okay, I didn't appreciate the choke slam. My neck hurts, but I did get the pin,
right?
And I did win, so I'm okay with that." And he's like, "Very good, y'all. Now you can be. Y'all should be a tag team, and we'll call you Team Friendship."
Right.
So we'll see if that catches on. Team Friendship.
Yeah, but they were also arguing about because Daniel Bryan said, the team of Daniel Bryan and Kane said Kane and Daniel Bryan. So they started arguing back and forth on the order of the name.
Right.
And then he came and said, "How about Team Friendship?" And they said, "No."
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So it's good.
But I like Team Friendship.
Yeah, Team Friendship.
Yeah. hopefully.
That'd be nice. Have little balloons and flowers around their name. When
Make
they come
AJ force them to be Team Friendship.
Yeah, that's right. This will help you guys. So next match we had Rey Mysterio versus Cody Rhodes.
And another no commentary match, which we were talking about this when we were watching it too. For me personally, I actually kind of like the no commentary because paying attention to actually what was going on was easier for me without the distraction of, Michael Cole talking about things other than what are going on in the ring. It's always storyline based. It's always talking about it feels like the commentary 60% of the time at least isn't paying attention to the in-ring product. And, I grew up with Gorilla Monsoon and...
that's the play-by-play guy.
Right. Gorilla Monsoon, Vince McMahon was one of the play-by-play guys. Guy, yeah. Lord Alfred Hayes, all those guys. They would call the action, even Jim Ross, Gordon Soley. These guys would call what was going on in the ring, and you could follow, and I knew what every single move was as a kid because they would tell you what they were, It's a great snapmare by, so-and-so. And so I knew what every single move as a kid was. These days... they don't even pay attention to the in-ring product half the time.
Right.
So I enjoy that. I felt without the distracting commentary, it was actually easier to watch the matches.
Yeah, it was very strange, though.
Yeah.
I found it
was
distracting because I'm so used to having commentary. So I was like,
Right.
oh, this is weird. So it wasn't much different.
But it made me realize that having that commentary where they're actually calling the match is so much better than the distracting storyline stuff because I was able to concentrate on the match even without that. Now, put the commentary in there where they're actually calling it, and you can, I think, pay attention to a match even more.
Yeah.
And in the end, personally, I watch wrestling for wrestling. I don't watch it, for all the backstage vignettes. That stuff is fun.
Right.
That stuff is good to kind of have around for the storyline, but the meat of what you've got is wrestling. And in my opinion, that's what it should be.
Definitely.
Yeah. But I'm an old school fan.
But you're an old school guy, You grew up with Gorilla Monsoon.
Yeah.
I had Jim Ross and Jerry the King, the heel.
Oh,
Jerry
yeah.
the King
I was watching it pre-Titantron and before everyone even had ring music. So,
nice.
Half the guys didn't even have music when I was watching it as a kid. But we should say Miz came down and interfered, which got Cody the win.
Got Cody the win, and then Miz starts beating on Rey Mysterio, and guess he has the IC championship now.
Yes.
And a man who used to have it not too long ago is Cody Rhodes.
Who's the man who brought back the classic looking belts.
Yes, which bravo to you, Cody Rhodes.
Absolutely.
And
they should do that with all the belts. They should bring back all the 80s titles, in my opinion.
Right.
The tag titles, not those penny belts that look like pennies.
Yeah.
And then that stupid spinner belt. Bring back the eagle.
Well, Punk's been saying they've been working on a new title.
Yeah,
it's been a year now.
I've seen pictures of the potential, and I'm not a fan.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to show those to me.
Oh yeah, it's just a big WWE. It's just and it's just rumors. I mean, who knows if that's really what
it's
it is?
All concepts. Concepts. Anyway, Crossroads onto Miz while he's beating up Rey Mysterio, and he holds up the IC title like, "Nah, dude, this is mine. I'm gonna get it at some point."
Yeah, which is interesting. The Miz and Cody Rhodes. Could they go the line because they're both heels,
right?
So, and in my opinion, heel matches don't really work,
right? So we'll see.
Because you gotta have. It's much easier to have. You can do two guys you cheer for, but if you have two guys that you're gonna boo and you don't like, for the fans who's gonna invest in that match? So I hope they're not leading up to a heel match between the two of them, but you never know. I'm sure one of them would be a good guy.
They'll figure it out.
Yeah, or maybe. Or more likely, they're probably building up to a triple threat with Mysterio.
Definitely. And that'll work. Rey Mysterio, big face.
Yeah.
It'll work.
Yeah.
Other big faces, we had Bret Hart come out with John Cena. And he sets up to talk about Punk.
Yeah. Did you find Bret Hart really stale in that segment?
Well, I think
it was
very
boring.
Very distracted probably from backstage.
Very much so, yeah.
I think everybody wasn't really into it.
Freaked out.
And luckily, I think Punk, even Cena wasn't into it until Punk came out and Punk was like, all right, we got to amp this up because
Punk saved that segment.
He did.
But Cena also killed it at the end.
They brought you said it. They bring the best out of each other.
They bring the best out. And if you noticed, the best promos that Cena was hitting, the best matches was when he was in that feud with Punk early last year.
Right.
They were just awesome promo after awesome promo when because Punk was basically shooting on him, and Cena kind of had to step up his game, and Punk makes him step up his game. And it was like, finally, they've been building up to this match at Night of Champions, but it doesn't feel like they had let those two loose yet on each other. And they finally did at the end of this. They let those guys run their mouths on each other, and it was great.
Cena actually got a great shoot on him. He said, you've been champion for 300 days, and it's been irrelevant.
Right.
Because you said you were bringing change. Nothing has changed. All you did was make yourself a star. That's all you've wanted. You have not changed what's going on over here. And and then he said you borrow colors from the legends, like tonight.
You steal Randy Savage's elbow.
You steal the great
I was
going to
mention I love the T-shirt.
Elbow, how dare you? You know, I'm like, that's a tribute, damn it! Don't you say that? But he and then he to get a huge pop from the Montreal crowd. He says, "I'm going to speak to the crowd right now," and he said, "I speak a little bit French." And he says in French basically that he's not just gonna beat CM Punk. He's gonna
kick his ass.
He's gonna kick his ass.
Yeah,
and everyone loved it when he said it in French. And
what does Punk say? You're speaking the
you're
hometown language. Yeah,
you're lowering yourself to these
the
people.
locals' language. Yeah,
but Cena gets the better of him in the shootout, and so Punk, upset, tries to punch Brett. Brett catches it and punches Punk in the show.
And the real great thing about that is both Cena and Punk. If you break down what both of them say, they both have a point. They both come from a real place, and that's what's so great about it. Who's right? Who's wrong? Well, they're both kind of right.
Right.
Who do you choose with? Now Punk you may not like the way Punk's going about doing his business, but he's right in a lot of ways.
Right. And that's the thing.
And Cena was too.
I would love to hear what the callers what they think about it, because ever since Punk has won the title, there was that short period of time after, and then that period of time before he won it, where everything he was saying was truth. Bam, bam, bam. And then, maybe Punk got caught up in the whole championship,
right?
And now since then he's kind of fallen off, and finally Cena.
Ever since the Jerry Lawler comment of he's turned his back on the WWE ever since that, and when he sat down with Jerry and he just reamed Jerry out, everything he said made sense.
Because even when he made Rock go to sleep, people were still behind him. Like, that's fine. Hey, you're just trying to get yours. I like that.
Right? Yeah.
But you mess with Jerry.
Yeah, don't mess with
Prayers are
Jerry.
with you, Jerry.
Yes. We should probably take some phone calls.
Yeah, let's take some calls. We got any calls back here, sir?
Yeah, I believe we do.
Yes, you do.
Awesome.
Yes.
What's up, man?
You. Hey, is this 88 Clan?
88 Clan.
Is this Jensen?
Is it no? Jensen's not here today, unfortunately. Hopefully, we'll have him back next week.
Oh man, who's this?
This is Ryan and Josh.
Oh, all right. And who's your guest?
Josh Padgett?
Yeah, Josh. Unfortunately, we don't have any one this week. It's just the two of us. What did you think about the show tonight?
All right. Raw? Oh, man. What a good... I thought it was pretty... Impact, very... man, I like it. I'm actually watching it right now. CM Punk, he's doing really good as a heel. I mean,
yeah.
Then you got the Divas. Finally, they're bringing back the Divas. All they really need to bring back is the women's title. I mean, the Diva, they gotta just take that away,
and bring back the classic women's championship.
You know
Is
what
that
I'm
you're
saying?
Yeah.
And, I mean, they already have the classic Intercontinental.
I agree. The belt that Fabulous Moolah held for 25 years or 30 years or whatever it was is now defunct.
Yeah,
so it's a new title.
I also have I have a replica. I buy it on WWE Shop. It's pretty cool. It's the spinner. It cost me $400, and it's pretty heavy. It's 7 pounds. It's, it can really do some damage. And
oh yeah, those. Some of those real belts are heavy.
I'm a collectible, so I mean, you know, and pretty awesome that carry a belt around and to believe it, you know.
Definitely.
But hey, the show. Hey, I like Raw, man. I like SmackDown, and I like I say, I like how they're bringing back Bret Hart and like some of the legends, and I hope CM Punk really gets his match from Stone Cold, and I hope the way how they're pushing CM Punk, I believe they're doing some sort of effort to build up against I hope they have that that dream match.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're really hoping.
Yeah, Punk really wants that match.
I'm sure Austin would too. He just had surgery though, so
I
he's going to be out for a minute.
Austin just had he's got out a knee surgery.
Yeah.
Not too I believe like a month ago, and
we're looking at
really
WrestleMania 30, I think.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
I hope he really. What do you have to say about that, man?
Yeah, I personally, that would be a dream match for me as well. And can you imagine the straight edge versus the beer drinking redneck?
That'd be awesome.
That'd be amazing.
And you got Christian inducting Sting in the TNA Hall of Fame.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. I know he
cool.
will be there.
I really want to check that out. I don't know. I know it's TNA under a different organization, so
yeah, that's part of the that was part of the swap with Ric Flair appearing at the WWE Hall of Fame ceremony. TNA let them out, so WWE is now giving them Christian to induct Sting into their Hall of Fame.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, that's cool.
It's great.
Ric Flair. I mean, and I don't know about Triple H having another match with Brock. I mean, it's hard to say, because if I would like to see them wrestle. I mean, at like maybe WrestleMania 29, because I think Triple H need that push with Ric Flair. Coming back with someone needs to push Triple H, pump him up.
Well, I think Triple H is
that juice,
Yeah,
or someone to really like back him up a little bit,
Well,
I mean, Shawn Michaels tried to do it, but he ended up getting a broken arm. But the storyline is pretty cool,
Definitely.
How they're doing it and everything, and
yeah,
it was really good.
I
Oh man,
Awesome,
thanks for
man.
calling. What's your name, man?
My name is Chris, man, and
Awesome. Thanks for calling, Chris.
Fan, all right, then.
Thanks, Chris.
Have
Enjoy the rest of Raw, man.
I'll call in next.
All right, dude.
All right. Have a good night.
All right.
All right.
Yeah, he was amped. I like it.
He was very excited to talk about Raw.
Yeah.
So,
who we got? One more caller. We have time for one more caller. All right, uno mas. Hey, who we talking to right now?
Hi, this is Yelinette.
Oh, a lady.
Oh, there we go.
Hello.
Get the female perspective of the show, which is always nice.
Yes.
What did you think about the show tonight?
Call.
Yes. And what did you think of the show tonight?
I kind of liked the show. I thought it was
just kind of
interesting. I'm loving the Daniel Bryan and Kane thing right now, because like I thought Daniel Bryan was boring, but now with Kane, he's so much interesting now.
I completely agree.
I like that.
I actually, I said I completely agree. I actually saw Daniel Bryan wrestle a couple local shows here in Los Angeles, like 5 or 6 years ago, with a group called Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, and I had never seen him before. And everyone on the indie scene used to tell me how great he is, and he bored me to tears. And I used to watch this guy, and he's a great wrestler, but I used to almost fall asleep watching him wrestle. Everybody loved him on the indie scene.
But when he was champion.
Yeah, I agree. But he's now not only this great wrestler, but his character has come through so much in the last 6 months, 9 months. He's really got that part of wrestling right now, I think, which is amazing.
Yeah, that's like my favorite part of the show right now. But I have to complain about Caitlyn. Oh my god.
You don't like Caitlyn?
Hate her.
What don't you like about her?
I feel like she can't wrestle for nothing, so I feel like she shouldn't have been the number one contender.
Okay.
Like, she is the worst wrestler they have right now. Like, she sucks.
Yeah, I mean, she's young and she's very green.
She's green.
I think she has a little bit of a potential. Personally, I think she has some potential, but at this point, I agree. She may not be your strongest contender for that. But I think they're trying to mix it up and give it to somebody new, and they really don't have anybody new right now in that Divas division that can really jump in there and challenge for the title.
I mean, I understand that, but like, I feel like they also need to give Layla a character. Like, she's just, like, when she was from the show My Cool, she was like this great character, and now they're just like letting her go, and like she's basically just there. Like, people don't even remember that she's a champion. Sometimes I forget.
Yeah,
the entire division's an afterthought right now.
That's what we're talking about.
That's really what it is, and it's a shame because these girls work really, really hard, and a lot of them care. And they're just not given the chance. I know a lot of them, if you go to the house shows, they get to wrestle a little bit more and they get longer matches.
Yeah,
they're given more than 3 minutes on house shows. But the Divas division, I think, dedefinitely needs to be refocused on a little bit and let them actually be wrestlers.
You got 3 hours.
Yeah. You got 3 hours. Let these girls show. Get some girls that know what they're doing, and they let girls like Gail Kim and Mickie James go that were some really, really good talents, and it's unfortunate. I really hope they can build that division back up.
I was upset about that. Like, Mickie James, Melina, and Gail Kim, they were some of the best wrestlers, and they just let them go like that.
Yeah, I don't understand it, but it's the WWE has other focuses other than the Divas division, and they're not really concentrating on it right now.
Right.
Same thing with kind of the tag teams.
Companies getting things back in a good mode, because it was starting to suck. I was starting to stop watching it, and like now I'm watching it again because it's getting better. But it got to a point where it was just like, it was awful.
Yeah, it's all cyclical. It goes up, it goes down. Sometimes it's great, sometimes it's not. It's the world of wrestling.
Right.
So
yeah, I guess so.
And what was your name? I remember you calling.
You guys.
Yeah, what's your name?
Jolene.
Jolene. Yeah.
I call all the time.
I recognize your voice. Thank you for calling again tonight, darling.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
Have a good one.
Have a good night.
So yeah, solid night.
Solid night. It was a good Raw. Obviously with the Jerry Lawler situation, it was a little bit off. It was a little bit strange, and everyone's thoughts were really with Jerry more,
but he's
than
pulling
the
through.
wrestling became secondary. So
he's pulling through. He's breathing on his
yes,
own.
So
they said it's most likely a heart attack or a stroke, but he's pulling through because he's the king.
Yeah, he's the king. Hopefully the king will be back and hopefully recover and be 100%. Let's knock on wood.
And everyone, thank you for tuning in.
Our thoughts go to Jerry and his family and everybody that works with him at WWE.
Yeah, have a prayer and put them in your thoughts, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching, guys. We hope to get some wrestlers and Jensen back soon.
Yeah, and hopefully Maria, we'll have back in a couple weeks. So I can already hear the comments. Where's Maria being written down right now? Sorry, we try to get her as much as possible, but she'll be back soon.
All right, guys.
Have a good night, guys.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later. Ooh, yeah.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.